Author's POV. It had been a while since Jungkook and Y/N had managed to sneak out together, and tonight felt like the perfect chance. They kept it simple, a late stroll through a quieter part of the city, with Jungkook in a hoodie and mask, Y/N walking beside him, just happy to be together away from the spotlight. The night air was cool, and as they walked, he took her hand in his, intertwining their fingers and pulling her close. As they reached a small park, Jungkook leaned in, giving her a quick kiss under the soft glow of a streetlight. It was a brief, sweet moment, and they both laughed softly, savoring the freedom to just be themselves, even if only for a little while. But what they didn't realize was that someone, somewhere, had managed to catch a blurry photo of them just in time. Jungkook's POV. The next morning, Jungkook's phone was buzzing non-stop. Fans were going wild with speculation over a blurry picture of him and Y/N that had started circulating. The shot wasn't clear, but the familiar outline of his frame, coupled with his iconic tattoos, was enough to spark a storm of comments. Jungkook shook his head, chuckling softly to himself as he scrolled through a few of the posts. "They'll believe anything these days," he muttered with a grin, setting his phone down. To him, the rumors were just another round of baseless speculation. He'd been through countless ones before, and ignoring them had always worked. So why should this time be any different? Besides, he wasn't about to confirm anything that would put Y/N in the spotlight before she was ready. Later that day, his manager pulled him aside, cautiously bringing up the photos circulating online. "Are you aware of the picture going around, Jungkook?" his manager asked, concern in his eyes.
"Yeah,"
he said, a playful smirk on his face. "But it's just a rumor. Let people talk." The manager nodded, trusting Jungkook's instincts but still reminding him of the attention such rumors could bring. Y/N's POV. Meanwhile, Y/N's phone also blew up, with friends reaching out and fans dissecting the blurry image all over social media. She couldn't help but feel a pang of anxiety, worrying about how this could affect Jungkook's life and career. But before her thoughts could spiral, her phone rang. It was Jungkook. Jungkook called her, sensing the worry in her tone as soon as she picked up. "Hey," he said softly. "I know you're seeing everything online." "It's a lot," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "They're guessing all these things about us, and they don't even know the truth." "Let them talk," he said firmly. "They don't know it's us. And even if they did, it's none of their business. We're just living our lives, Y/N. Let them guess all they want." She felt a wave of relief wash over her. His steady confidence had a way of calming her, making her feel safe like nothing could shake what they had. "Are you sure? You don't mind them thinking it's you?" "Not at all," he replied with a light laugh. "They can think whatever they want. I know what's real, and that's all that matters to me." Word spread quickly. The chemistry between Jungkook and Yoo hadn't gone unnoticed by the people closest to him, and soon, even company was getting wind of the growing bond. The first person to notice the subtle change in Jungkook was Jin, who had always been observant of Jungkook's moods. One afternoon in the practice room, Jin slid into the seat next to Jungkook, who was focused on a new song. Jin eyed him for a moment, then leaned in with a knowing smile. "You've been different lately," Jin said casually. "And not just from your usual, I'm too cool for this self." Jungkook glanced at him, then quickly returned his gaze to his phone, avoiding eye contact. "What do you mean?" Jin raised an eyebrow. "You've got that look in your eyes. The one you get when you're distracted. Care to share who's got your attention?" Jungkook paused, the phone still in his hands as he debated how much to reveal. "It's nothing like that," he replied nonchalantly, though the slight blush on his cheeks gave him away. Jin chuckled, knowing he'd hit the nail on the head. "So, you're telling me there's no special someone who's got you smiling like a kid on his first date?" Before Jungkook could respond, Suga, who'd been half listening to the conversation, chimed in. "I bet it's someone outside the industry. Someone he doesn't have to keep up this idol image around." Jungkook was about to protest when J-Hope suddenly appeared, bouncing into the room with his usual energy. "Who's got our Kookie all flustered?" Spill it. Realizing he couldn't hide the truth anymore, Jungkook sighed, finally giving in. Alright, fine. It's Y/N. She's my doctor for my recovery, and I guess we've been getting to know each other. He looked up at his bandmates, all three staring at him with wide eyes. Wait, Y/N? Jean repeated, his tone filled with curiosity. The doctor. Jungkook nodded, his eyes softening as he thought about you.
Yeah.
I like her. A lot. Author's POV. The teasing only escalated after Jungkook's confession. The following days in the studio were filled with playful jabs and knowing glances every time he glanced at his phone or seemed distracted. Jungkook, Jean called out one morning, his voice laced with mischief, did you have a good night? You've got that extra shine in your eyes today. Jungkook tried to hide his grin behind his hand, but it was useless. It's nothing, he muttered, turning his attention back to the lyrics he was writing, but the blush on his cheeks said it all. Nothing? Suga added, leaning back in his chair with his trademark smirk. I've never seen you so nothing before. Did Y/N teach you something new? Like, how to actually smile for a change? Jungkook glared at Suga, but it was only half-hearted. Just focus on your own work, Hyung, he said, trying to sound annoyed, but his grin was still there. You don't know her, so just stop. Does she make you smile like that every time you see her? J-Hope jumped in, his voice cheerful and teasing. You've been a little too happy lately. Are you planning a surprise confession on stage next? Maybe we should start planning your wedding performance already. Jungkook groaned, slouching in his chair, trying to hide his face in his hands. Seriously, you guys are impossible. Yup, Jean agreed with a wink. That's what friends are for. Guys, that's enough, let he enjoy his lover bee era. Namjoon added while laughing. Jungkook's POV. It wasn't long after the teasing that Jungkook knew it was time. He had thought about it long enough, and he wanted to make it official, not just with his bandmates, but with the world. The day arrived, and with a few deep breaths to calm his nerves, Jungkook stood in front of his members, holding your hand firmly in his. He could feel the weight of their eyes on him, but for once, he didn't mind. Guys, Jungkook began, his voice steady but his heart beating fast. This is Y/N. My girlfriend. The one I've been spending time with lately. The members' eyes widened in surprise, and for a moment, the room was silent. Then, Jean was the first to break the tension, leaning back with a grin. Well, he said with mock seriousness, you weren't kidding about her, huh? Suga chuckled, raising an eyebrow. So, you are the one who's got Kooky all starry-eyed? J-Hope's eyes practically sparkled with excitement. She's even more beautiful than I imagined. Kooky, you've got great taste. Jungkook smiled shyly at the praise, but he didn't let go of your hand. He could see you growing a little embarrassed from all the attention, but he squeezed your hand reassuringly. Thanks, guys, he said, finally letting go of his nerves. I've never felt so sure about something in my life. Y/N's been a huge support to me, not just as a doctor but as someone I can trust. And now, he looked at you with a soft smile, I want to share that with all of you. The members all nodded approvingly, their teasing smiles replaced with genuine happiness. Jean raised his glass in a toast. To Jungkook and Y/N. We've been waiting for you to bring someone special around. It's about time. Jimin, who had been silent up until now, finally spoke. You deserve to be happy, Kooky. We're happy for you both. The room felt warm, full of support, and for once, the weight of fame and expectations seemed far away. Jungkook realized that this was what he wanted. With you by his side, and his members backing him up, he could face anything. Y/N's POV. You still couldn't believe the warmth and acceptance coming from everyone. It felt unreal to be in the presence of such famous, powerful individuals, yet it was so simple and natural when you were with them. The members' teasing felt like a fond embrace rather than something harsh, and their smiles made your heart swell. Jungkook was right beside you, his hand resting casually on your shoulder, his thumb rubbing soothing circles against your skin. See? I told you they were amazing, he whispered, his lips brushing your ear. I was worried, you admitted, glancing up at him with a soft smile. But I guess I was wrong. You don't have to worry anymore, Jungkook said with a confident grin. They're my family. And now you're a part of that too. You don't have to worry anymore, Jungkook said with a confident grin. They're my family. And now you're a part of that too. You felt a rush of warmth at his words, and without thinking, you leaned into him, letting him wrap his arm around you protectively. Thank you, you whispered. Jungkook pressed a gentle kiss to your forehead. No need to thank me. You're stuck with me now. You laughed, looking up at him with a sparkle in your eyes. I think I'm okay with that. Author POV. Things didn't last long as the same as when you received a call from the staff at Jungkook's company. That's when you had your own moment of realization that the company got know everything. And you were informed of the meeting request, a formal discussion about your relationship with Jungkook. You felt the weight of it instantly. While your connection had grown, you were both very much aware of the world you inhabited, one full of fans, media, and the ever-present eyes of the public. But what could this mean for the future? What did Jungkook's company have to say about all of this? You couldn't help the doubt that crept in. Was this going to end before it even began?